So this is going to be my what I learned from the movie The Witch. Now, this is a great movie, and I'm really surprised that it's not more famous or popular because I just think it's a really good movie. This is a case where the less is more thing, they did it right. In the Blair Witch Project, they just a little more, and that movie would have been a lot better, in my opinion. If they would have just showed some flash of the witch at some point, just something, you know, um, it would have been so much better. But in this movie, they don't show you much, but they show you enough to freak you out. That's what's annoying about the Blair Witch Project. They just it could have just been better, in my opinion. But you also got to realize the Blair Witch Project was the first found footage horror movie. When you're blazing a trail like that, you're going to make mistakes. It's inevitable. So, all in all, the Blair Witch Project was a great movie. There's people in the comments complaining that I didn't give it the respect it deserves. Believe me, it's a great movie. The Witch is a better movie, in my opinion. And that's because there's a lot of deep lessons here. And the Blair Witch Project is mostly just entertainment, not a whole lot to learn. It's not based on anything real deep, but this movie is. And there's so many deep and subtle lessons in this movie that I wonder if it was even done on purpose or on accident or what. I don't know who made the movie. I should probably look into it because if they did this on purpose, they're brilliant. They're geniuses. Even if they did it on accident, they're accidental geniuses. But, anyways, so as the movie starts off, you see this man standing in court. This is taking place in the 1600s. It's like the Puritan pilgrim type settlers somewhere in New England, somewhere in the Northeast. And he's in some sort of court and having some sort of dispute with the other pilgrims. And apparently they don't really go into it, but it's some religious dispute. And you can tell these people want to show mercy, but the guy's being such a hard ass that they're like, "You're banished from the settlement, get gone." And he's like, "Screw you too." And he just leaves with his family, in my opinion, a foolish thing to do. You're out, you got a family to look out for. Swallow your pride and do what's best for your family. What's best for your family is not going off into the woods alone, especially with this guy's skills. He's obviously, as the movie goes on, you see that he's not the most competent survivalist type. And the guy's a fool in a lot of ways. And that's one of the most brilliant things about this movie is his ignorance and his self-righteousness is what brings the evil in. He invites the evil in with his actions. Subconsciously, he invites the evil in. There's a saying in the Bible. It's I was raised Catholic. I now believe in a there's truth and deception in all religions, and that is done by design. But I still consider myself Catholic because the main reason I do consider myself Catholic still is because I'm not anti-Catholicism. I'm not anti-Christian faith or none of that. I do believe that religion is good for some people who need these metaphors to understand God. So religion, in my opinion, all in all, it's a good thing. But when you got a guy like this who's using it as like, he's trying to be the most righteous, pretending he's the most righteous man on earth, thinking that he can fool God. He knows deep down he's nowhere near as righteous as he pretends to be, or maybe not. He's an ignorant guy, but you see it now too. You see a lot of people, even in my comments, trying to you really should believe in Jesus Christ and this and that. Look, I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe Jesus Christ was a prophet from God. I believe in Jesus Christ. That doesn't mean that I believe that everyone else who believes in other things are going to burn in hell for eternity. That's not the version of Christianity that I believe in. I believe in all religions. I don't believe Buddhist monks are going to burn in hell because they don't worship Jesus. I mean, Jesus didn't want anyone's worship. Like, you got to realize a lot of the Bible is written by men. I don't know what percentage of it is channeled or I don't know, but I know that it's corrupted. A lot of it is, and that's why you get these people trying to force this religion down everyone's throat. Jesus was not like that. Jesus would not agree with that. Jesus would tell you not to be that way. Jesus didn't build a huge following because everyone was afraid to burn in hell. He built a huge following because people were loyal to him because he was help he all Jesus did was help people and ask nothing in return, so they were loyal to him. It's that simple. Jesus spent his whole life just helping people. So, it's he wasn't making ultimatums and threats, you know what I mean? But so anyways, these people just don't understand the religion that they claim to understand. But so is that I'm trying to see something. Um so the guy ends up getting this whole family banished away from the settlement and off into the woods where they build their own little farm and they have their own little crops. And so he's got an older daughter, maybe, I don't know, 17, 18, an older son, maybe 13, and then two younger twins, maybe 5 years old, a boy and a girl, and then a baby, like a newborn baby. So he takes them all out into the woods because of his pride and his ignorance. He refuses to come to some sort of understanding with the other pilgrims in the settlement. And so, right there, he's not a good leader, in my opinion. To really be a good leader, you got to put your people's needs in front of your own. So he's got his family out in the woods. As it turns out, there's a witch out in these woods, and she is pure evil. She is an evil, malevolent being. She's human, but she's powerful with the black magic. Real shit. Black magic is a real thing. Believe it or don't, go on my Patreon if you're interested. White magic is a real thing too. Left hand path, right hand path. Anyways, so I explain those types of things on Patreon. Anyways, so they're they're out there. They don't know the witch is out there, but at one point the older daughter is babysitting the baby, and she's kind of close to the woods, and she's like, peekaboo with the baby doing that thing. At one point, she covers her eyes and she goes to peekaboo with the baby. The baby's gone. The witch stole the baby, like real quick. This witch has some powers. So it freaks the daughter out. She knows, it, you know, her baby brother just got kidnapped right out from under her. She don't know what the hell happened. She's in a panic. She goes back home. They're all freaked out because these are like pilgrim type, Puritan type people, and the baby wasn't baptized. According to some Christians, if you're not baptized, you go to hell when you die. So, personally, I don't believe that. I don't believe God is that ignorant, but that's what they believe. So they're freaked out because they don't know if their baby is going to now be in hell for eternity because he wasn't baptized. So that's one reason. They're also freaked out because their baby just got kidnapped. Anyways, they're really freaked out by the whole thing. And the mom is really devastated by it. She never really recovers from it. So, you can tell these people, look, they don't really understand God. And I gotta say, 99.9% of the population doesn't understand God. If you got a real understanding of God and a real understanding of God's will and the world we live in, then you could never be that rattled or shooken up by anything, even the death in the family. You understand. It's deep shit. Go on my Patreon if you want to know the details. I'm not even. It's just too much for me to get into, but I can tell you one thing. Everything that happens is a part of God's will, and nothing happens that violates your free will. So, you anything that happens in life, you consented to it on some level. Now, that's another great lesson in this movie. They, not the kids, but the parents, they they invited the evil into their lives in a lot of ways by being dishonest, pretending to be righteous, spreading God's word without understanding it themselves, just ignorance, and they invite the evil in. It's nothing happens without your permission. Sometimes that permission is subconscious. When you do evil, you are giving the world permission to do evil to you in a lot of ways. So they subconsciously consent to inviting evil into their lives by being dishonest and being ignorant. And so at one point, his crops are not doing too well. They've got to go hunting. The kid, the baby, has been missing. Now, as it turns out, you find out the witch stole the baby in order to sacrifice it and make some sort of flying potion out of it. And now she has the ability to fly, now that she sacrificed this baby and used his blood to somehow make some sort of flying potion. That's a negatively polarized sacrifice. A positively polarized sacrifice would be leaving gifts for nature. She was given a gift to the evil polarized entities out there, anyways. So the crops aren't doing too good. He's got to go hunting. He takes the son and the dog and the horse, and they go hunting. He tells the son he had to steal his wife's cup, silver cup, to sell it to get hunting supplies. That's how they got hunting supplies. He stole his wife's cup. Didn't tell his wife, but he's telling his son. Stealing is against God's will. God doesn't want you to steal from people, especially your own family. He should have just told her. He's inviting evil in. He's doing evil. So he stole her cup, got some hunting supplies. I would have explained to my wife, look, we're in a serious situation. I got to sell your cup. I'm going to buy it back as soon as the opportunity presents itself. Realistically, me, if my crops aren't making it, I got my family out in the woods, I'd be like, all right, look, we're going back to the settlement. I'm going to beg mercy. I'm going to beg forgiveness for y'all's sake. I'm not going to let you guys suffer all winter. I, I'm going to go make things right. Let's go. That's what I would have done. But what he did was he sold his wife's cup to get hunting supplies to go out hunting. So they go out hunting. They're not seeing much. Guy's not a good hunter. Should have been laying traps all over the place. Should have been doing this from day one, gathering resources. But the guy's a fool. He's an ignorant fool. Anyways, finally they see a rabbit. As it turns out, it's the witch shapeshifted into a rabbit just to fuck with him. And he's so nervous and freaked out that he wants to get this kill. If you really believe in God, look, there's a saying in the Bible: the wicked man flees when no one pursues, but the righteous man is bold as a lion. The wicked man is afraid. The righteous man is not. You can do anything to him. Kill him, torture him, put him in a cage, put him in jail. He knows that God knows him, and God knows he's a righteous man. He ain't scared of nothing. God is with him. How can he be afraid of anything? This man has no connection with God because he's only pretending to be righteous. He's not being righteous. He's lying, he's stealing, you know what I mean? So that's why he's so afraid to not get this kill. A righteous man would have been cool as a fan. He would have been, you know what I mean? A righteous man would have taken his family back to the settlement. But anyways, he's not an outright wicked man out there like the witch who's outright evil, but one of the reasons she's so powerful and he's not is because the witch is not lying. She's being who she is. He's lying. He's being something. He's pretending to be something he's not. So he doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in his own skill. He's sitting there, you know, loading up the gun. It's like old school pilgrim musket, whatever. He goes to shoot the rabbit. It misfires because he loaded it wrong because he was so nervous and afraid. Guy's a fool. Misfires. Doesn't get the kill. It was the witch anyway. But you know, another example of just the wicked man flees when no one pursues. The wicked man is afraid. The righteous man is bold as a lion. If he was as righteous as he pretends to be, he wouldn't have been afraid. He would have got the kill. or he would have taken his family. His family would have been out of danger by now. A truly righteous man. Anyways, so they go back, and the wife is just completely almost out of her mind with grief over the baby. At some point, she starts accusing the daughter of stealing the cup, and the daughter's like, "What are you talking? I don't know nothing about the cup." The husband's sitting there letting the daughter take the blame. She's blaming the son, this and that, and he's not even stepping in. He's just letting all this disorder and chaos ensue within his family. A true leader, a true righteous man would have nipped that right in the bud. You know, we are one out here. We don't accuse each other. We don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't disharmonize and accuse each other and fight with each other. We live and die as one. So, you know what I mean? That'd be my family. I'm loyalty. We are one. We are not separate entities. We are one thing. And so, you know, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And in this case, the father, the patriarch of the whole thing, is like the weakest link. So of course, the whole family is just disorder and chaos. They're all, you know. And then at another point, the little twins are like little brats. Oh, the other thing is there's this Black Phillip, the goat, and the twins talk to the goat, and apparently the goat talks back to them, but you never really see it happening. But at one point, the daughter and the older son are washing laundry in the stream, and the little twins come up saying, Black Phillip told us you're the witch that stole the baby. They're saying that to their sister, their older sister, and the older sister is like telling them to shut up and this and that, but these annoying little twins keep talking shit, and then the older sister says, I am a witch, and if you keep messing with me, I'm gonna kill you and eat you too. And the kids are all freaked out by it, and so then there was that instance. What happened now? What happens later on, the son, who's actually more righteous than his father, decides to wake up early one morning and he's going to go hunt without his goofy father there to screw it up. And the older daughter sees the son leaving and she's like, I'm coming with you. Otherwise, I'm telling our parents that you're trying to go out into the woods alone. And the mother had like forbidden him from going out into the woods. But anyways, so they go hunt. All day they ain't seeing nothing. Next thing you know, their dog takes off chasing after, I think it was the witch rabbit again. The kid leaves the daughter with the horse. He's like, I'll be back. I'm going to get the dog. He takes off. Now they're all separated. You don't know. He never comes back. Eventually, and the horse takes off too. And so the daughter ends up just stumbling back to the farm accidentally. She didn't even know where she was going. But so they're like, "Where's the son? Where's our son?" And she's like, "I don't know. He just disappeared in the woods. He chased after the dog. He didn't come back." And the father's like, "Holy shit!" He's like, "All right." He's gonna go out into the woods and look. And what happened with his son was he was scared shitless out in the woods, and then he sees this very attractive woman in red by this little cottage. It's the witch in disguise as an attractive woman, and he's just drawn to her. But he's also scared shitless. You can tell as he gets closer, the witch is like welcoming him. He comes closer. She grabs him by the back of the head. You can see this aged, old, nasty hand grab him, and she just starts kissing him and like putting some sort of poisonous spell on him or something. Anyways, back at the house, the father's like, all right, I gotta go find the kid. And the wife is like, let's just go back to the settlement. And he's like, it's a day's ride. I gotta go get our son first or whatever. So he's about to leave. The daughter goes outside to put the goats to bed or whatever. And here's the son. It's raining out. He comes stumbling up, and he ain't looking right. He's looking real sick or something. Something ain't right with him. And so she brings him into the house, and they're like, oh, thank God the son is back, but he's sick. Something ain't right with him. He's just laying there. And he's crying and screaming. His stomach hurts and this and that. Next thing you know, I think he starts spitting up blood or something. But this goes on for hours, and at one point they try to pray over the son, and you got to realize that there's evil has descended on this family and this house. So he's like, let's pray, you know. And as they're trying to pray, the two twins can't pray. It's like either the witch or the devil, something is taking the Our Father prayer out of their mind. They can't say it. And they start accusing the older daughter of witchcraft, saying she's a witch, she's preventing us from praying or whatever. And the parents are like, is this true? And also, earlier in the movie, you find out that the father was about to sell the daughter into indentured servitude to another family. Guy's just going to sell his daughter. Instead of just taking them all back to the settlement and swallowing his pride, he's, you know. So this guy stole from his wife. He betrayed his daughter. He's about to sell her to another family. Who God knows what's going to happen to her. The guy just, he ain't no good, in my opinion. And he's pretending to be this super duper righteous guy. Meanwhile, betraying his own daughter. You know what I mean? Me personally, I'd sell myself into indentured servitude before I'd sell my daughter. But I wouldn't even do that because I know my family needs me. I wouldn't even consider it. My daughter, I don't have any kids, but if I did, I would die before I would put them in a position like this. So you had found out earlier he was going to sell the daughter to another family as an indentured servant. So then, when they're trying to pray over the son, who's something ain't right with him, he's been bewitched or some shit, the two twins can't pray. They start saying that the older daughter is a witch and that she is she's the cause of the evil. And the dumbass parents are like, they believe it, or they're not sure, you know? Like, me, I would never think that of my own kids. You know what I mean? I never. Uh, I gotta be honest, even if my daughter was a straight up witch, I wouldn't betray her. That's my blood. You know what I mean? That's I wouldn't I would never betray my own blood, my own kids. Anyways, so you know, the kid ends up just dying. Uh he was the witch did something to him, and now they're all freaked out. And the 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 older daughter, when the two twins were accusing her of witchcraft, she was saying the two twins talked to Black Phillip, the goat, and the goat is actually the cause of the evil. Is what the older daughter is saying. But anyways, the father's like freaked out at this point. His son just died. He's like, "Fuck all y'all. Y'all sleeping in the barn with the goats. I don't. I'll deal with you motherfuckers tomorrow or whatever. You know, just not a good father." Anyways, he banishes the kids out into the barn with the goats that night, and as they're trying to sleep in this barn, you hear something swoop in and land on the roof. This is one of the scariest parts of the movie. It's the witch. She floated in and she's on the fucking roof now. Next thing you know, she's down in the barn drinking blood from the female goat. From the female goat, she's drinking blood out of the udders. And it's a freaky, scary part. Next thing you know, the morning comes. He comes out in the morning. The goats are dead. I think the twins are dead. You don't really see it, but you see blood everywhere. And the oldest daughter is laying there, like, all disheveled. And so he thinks, automatically, he's thinking, my daughter just killed my two twins. She is a witch, or whatever. As he's looking at her and he's about to approach her, Black Phillip the goat runs up and stabs him with the horn. Black Phillip ends up killing the father. And then the daughter's completely freaked out by this. The other things have happened. I'm not going through all the details in the movie, but let's just say they're all really freaked out at this point. The mother comes out. She sees everyone's dead except the daughter. She thinks the daughter's a witch. She attacks her daughter, and she's beating up her daughter. The daughter grabs something and just starts stabbing her mother. Ends up killing the mother. Fucking messed up movie, man. Anyways, now the daughter's just in a state of shock, and she's just at this farm alone. She don't know what to do with herself, and I think she goes into the barn where Black Phillip the goat is, and she's like, if you really are the devil and you really do talk to the twins, then talk to me. And the goat starts talking to her. And he says basically, do you want to keep suffering or do you want to live a great life? And the daughter's like, I want to live a great life. And he's like, I just need you to sign right here, having her sign her soul over. She's like, I don't know how to write my name. He's like, I'll guide your hand. She writes her name. She signs the contract with the devil. The devil tells her to take her clothes off. And Black Phillip the goat is the devil. And she takes all her clothes off. She follows the goat into the woods. Deep in the woods, there's this bonfire burning with witches all around it. And as the daughter sees this, the witches all fly up in the air and they're doing some sort of chant. And then she joins in, and that's the end of the movie. Basically, this man pretending to be righteous in his ignorance and his, he's not he was faking the whole time. He's not, the guy's kind of a piece of shit, to be honest. Selfish, stupid, ignorant, brought the evil in with his own actions, and ended up chasing his daughter right into the devil's arms. You know what I mean? So there's the what we learn from this movie is that when you do evil, you're inviting evil into your life. So I'm not saying everyone has to be a saint. What I am saying is what goes around comes around. Everything happens with your consent, so don't consent to evil. If you see evil, you know, call it out. Don't be honest, be real. Look, that's the wicked man flees when no one pursues, but the righteous man is bold as a lion. So a truly righteous man has nothing to fear. He knows he's got a place in heaven, and it's deeper than that. I'm just keeping it simple, but the righteous man knows that he's he fears no evil because he's doing no evil and he's consenting to no evil. A truly righteous man is not afraid of anything. So that's the lesson in this movie. Am I saying that I am a truly righteous man? No, that's not what I'm saying. I, you know what I mean? He without sin cast the first stone. I've done my share of dirt too. And when things go wrong in my life, I try to think to myself, maybe I deserve this for past regressions and whatever. You know what I mean? I've done some nasty things in my life. Not nothing too bad. I've been it this is not my confession, but you know what I mean. So remember that the wicked man flees when no one pursues, but the righteous man is bold as a lion. So the more righteous you are, the more powerful you're going to be. Now, does that mean that look, there's an evil version of that too? I mean, there's negatively polarized people who are powerful, and it's because they're still answering to God in their own negatively polarized ways. You got to realize that God is neutral. God is not good. God is not evil. God doesn't see things that way. God created the good and the evil because it's all tools to learn by. So there's ways for negatively polarized people and entities to still gain power by doing evil because they're following universal laws. And in a way, they're maintaining righteousness too, although in an evil way. So it's hard to explain. You'd have to really get deep into this type of stuff to really truly understand it. If you're interested in the deeper levels of this stuff, go onto my Patreon, and that's where I talk about these things, and that's where we learn about these things. But so I guess that's the end for this movie. A great movie, a scary movie, but like I said, you should fear no evil. If you're truly righteous, you ain't got nothing to fear. And I don't mean you don't got to be a saint. You just got to be real, be honest, and do your best. That's all. That's all God asked. So that's all there is to righteousness. Just don't do evil consciously. You know what I mean? It's deeper. It's more complicated than that. But I can't make a 5 hour video here. So, anyways, appreciate every single one of you. I hope you guys picked up on these lessons and can put them to use in life. And everybody have a good one. And I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm not sure what movie I'm gonna do next, but I'll think about it. I'll think about it and get it out as soon as possible. If you got anything particular you want to see, let me know. But we'll see what it ends up being. I don't know, but I'll see you on the next one. Everybody have a good one.